Hi there. How y'all doing? This is Cheryl, and you are listening to Person-Centered Cyber. How y'all doing today? I hope you're doing well. Let me change this thing up here. Okay, I just came off from my YIFANY channel. There we go. Person-Centered Cyber. Right over here. So if you're not on YIFANY, y'all go ahead and get over there. Everyone deserves an epiphany. Okay, I talked about evaluation today, and it was very good. It was short, about 17 minutes, but very enlightening and all that stuff. I don't know how we do over here. Okay. Now, don't quit yet. Don't quit just yet. All right. Just hold on a second. Give me like 30 minutes. Okay. But before you write that resignation or craft that email and all that. I know that you really, you're tired. You like, you know what? I can't do this, for another day. I can't take these people. I cannot take, all this stress. I'm just, I'm going somewhere else where I feel more valued. I know. Listen, I went through it. I know exactly what you're saying. All right. But just give me 30 minutes. Give me 30 minutes. Okay. Don't quit right now. Because what I found, okay, it wasn't the place. It wasn't the organization. It was me. And it was going to make 0 sense for me to leave an organization, okay, and go somewhere else and expect it to be different if I'm there too. If the problem is me, okay, how is me going somewhere else gonna solve the problem? Physics don't work like that, okay? No, ma'am. So let's talk about this, okay? So first, let me give you a few stats. Y'all know how I do, okay? Let me tell you some, what the research says about people quitting their cybersecurity jobs, all right? As of today, about 65% of y'all are thinking about firing your boss, okay? You about to go in there and be like, you know what? You fired, okay? I'm out of here. You understand? About 65% of you working in cyber and IT, okay? Now, which is funny because even at the top level, even the CISO, now what, I keep getting CISO wrong, Chief Information Security Officer, that's right? Even the CISO compared to the CFO and the CEO and the COO and all them other C-suite people, they stay the shortest after the CIO. The CIO is just like a turnstile child, okay? A turnstile. After the CIO, the CISO right behind her, okay? So even at the higher level, cybersecurity people don't stay, very long compared to other folks. And we're going to talk about why. The number one reason why you are about to turn in your papers, okay, is stress. I remember waking up in the morning, dreading, you hear me? Dreading going to work. It was just, before I even got there, the stress was just, I hated it. And I worked from home. I would get out of my bed, come in my kitchen, get some coffee, and go downstairs to my office in the basement. How crazy is that? Child, every step I took, the misery just came down like, ooh, child, it was terrible. So I know, stress. No, the next one, an unhealthy work environment. Unhealthy work environment. You just don't get along with people, and people don't get along with you. Okay, for whatever reason. It's just, it's not healthy. People are stabbing each other in the back. you know, they talking about everybody, while they're smiling in your face, and you know, taking credit for your work. I mean, just unhealthy, just totally unhealthy. All right. Which adds to the stress, doesn't it? Yeah. And then absence of IT prioritization, nobody cares. At least nobody cares until something breaks. Okay, then they care. All right. But cyber, and I wouldn't even say IT. I think IT is highly prioritized from what I've seen. But cybersecurity, okay, that's another story. All right, that's another story. Unclear job expectations. What the hell am I supposed to be doing here? You know, for a lot of agencies, especially now when I speak mostly to federal government because that's where I've worked mostly. Okay, but you know, and I do have some side jobs in like, you know, commercial organizations, but for the most part, I'm talking about federal. Okay, so when it comes to unclear job expectations, that's like the expectation for a lot of places. Okay, because onboarding is trash. Is basura. Okay, onboarding is trash. You know, so you rooting around, you know, asking people where the bathroom at. I mean, you know, just fundamental things. You know, onboarding is ridiculous. So unclear job expectations, you know, that's like almost a given. All right. And I'm talking about if you're a federal employee and a contractor in a federal government, same. Hey, Maddox, how you doing? Same thing. Okay. And the last one is lack of mentorship. Okay, reasons why y'all want to quit. Now, what lack of mentorship is, that's about growth. That's really what that's about. Okay, when you feel like you don't have any mentorship, you don't really have anybody telling you how things work around here. Okay, because you know the manual says this is the way things are supposed to work, but when you get out there in the wild, you know, this organization is way different than that one. All right, but so you need a mentor. You need somebody who's been there, who's, you know, it maybe not even been to that organization, but has been through enough change that they can share these kinds of things with you, both technical and soft skill type things. You know what I mean? Yeah, so those are the reasons, according to the research, why many IT and cybersecurity people are thinking about throwing in the towel right now. Okay, and the funny thing is, first of all, the salary in government is not great. Okay, for contractors it's better. Okay, but even that, a lot of times when you have these issues here, that ain't gonna keep nobody there. The money is not the only thing. I mean, you have to think bigger than money, because you know, and I know that money will not keep you at an organization if you are having, you know, heart palpitations and, you know, afraid to go to meetings and don't want to talk to this person and know you're about to get. The money don't mean diddly, okay, when it comes to all that other stuff. All right, you would rather be paid a lower salary and be happy, you know, than be miserable as hell, you know, but getting a decent paycheck every 2 weeks. No, for many of us, that's not going to work. Okay. So let me tell you what the issue is here. Why I say don't quit right now. I mean, you're going to quit, but give me like another 20 minutes. Okay. But before you write the resignation, it's in the email and cuss folks out and all that. Okay. Give me about 20 minutes. So the issue, when I say that the issue is you and me, I'm not saying that in a deleterious way. Like I'm not being mean. You know, what I mean by that is we either don't have choices, okay, or we have them, but we don't see them, okay? And when you don't have a choice, it's like it's claustrophobic. You know, you feel a sense of claustrophobia when you don't feel like you have a choice, when you absolutely have to do something, okay? The issue is lack of choices. Okay, that's why you want to quit. When you boil it down, like put the pot on the stove and boil all of things down that I just talked about, It's lack of choices. That's what it all comes back to. Now let's take them one by one, and I'm gonna show you. So I'm talking about this in the series that I'm starting at the end of this month. It's called Illuminating Billionaires. Okay, and you're gonna hear some of this stuff in there. So the first one was stress. Okay, and which which the unhealthy work environment feeds into. Not getting along with people and stuff like that. It's lack of choices and poor choices when it comes to interacting with people. Okay. And we're going to get to processes and poems, and I'm going to show you an example one too. Okay. So lack of choices and poor choices. Then we have absence of IT. Remember, it said absence of IT and cybersecurity prioritization. Now, what's that about? Well, now why is this about you? Let me tell you why it's about you. If you have lack of prioritization of your job, like the stuff that they hired you to do, okay, you're there to do security, but it's not prioritized the way it can and probably should be. That's because whoever has the bag, whoever is making the money decisions, okay, whoever's attention you need, you're not getting because they're not influenced by whatever it is you're doing. Okay. Your whatever you're doing doesn't seem that important compared to these other things and people and stuff that's going on. All right. Their attention is somewhere else. And this stuff looks a lot more important than what you hollering about over here. Now that goes to a lot of other things that I talked about on this channel about the way we present ourselves as cybersecurity experts, okay, and people that know what security is, and then the way we present it to them, okay, and most of the time they don't know what the hell we're talking about, okay, because of the way we're talking about it. So that means somebody else's attention, the resources, their time, all of that is on something else because we're not doing a good enough job influencing. Okay, and letting them know, hey, listen, this thing is serious. And the last video I did here, I talked about the report, and I saw Professor Black Ops, he did a video as well. And he went way more in depth than I did, okay, about how the federal government is spending billions and hardly has made a dent, in protection, in cybersecurity, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the article was like, we spent billions, but we're still as hackable as ever. That's ridiculous. Where the hell did the billions go? Okay. If I'm spending billions, I'm the CEO or the head of the federal organization. And I'm reading something that says I'm still as hackable as ever. And I'm hiring you, I'm paying you billions. Okay. To make sure I'm not as hackable as ever. But I still am. Why in the hell would I prioritize what you're doing? Okay, because first of all, I probably got you here in the first place because I have to have you here because the regulations say you got to do this. You got to put these controls on and do all this stuff. Hey, Professor Black Ops, how you doing? That's probably reason number one why you here in the first place. All right, and then now it's a compliance thing. So I'm doing all that stuff, but anything beyond that, I ain't trying to hear you. Okay, I ain't trying to hear it. Which is really sad. But that's not what this is about. But that's really sad. Okay. Unclear job expectations. Now that's not just cyber. Okay, that's anybody coming through the door for a new job. In a federal agency as either a Fed or a contractor. Our onboarding is terrible. I mean, across the board, you might find, bright spots here and a bright spot there, but overall, onboarding is trash. It really is. It really is. So you just run around like, what am I doing? Like, what am I? How does this work? Like, where's the process for this? Just asking questions of people who act like they either don't know or they don't care to share it with you. It's hard to work in an environment like that. It's very difficult. It's hard to make impact in an environment like that. Okay. And the last one was lack of mentorship. And that's the lack of the space and opportunity to grow. Who can survive in an environment like that? With very little space and opportunity to grow. You know, that one right there was okay. That was reason number one. And I said every time I talked about it, it's not the agents, it's not the government. Like, you know, some of these people are weird as hell and all that. But the problem is me. I need more space. I need more opportunity. Okay. And I am not willing to make the trade-off in this environment to get those kind of things. You know, I'm going to have to get out, you know, and you know, take a lower cut. I'm willing to take that trade-off, that lower cut in pay, to get in a better place for more opportunity. Do you know what I mean? And accelerated growth. You understand? So that's why I did it. Now let me use, now we're going to get to the people, processes, and the POAMs. Okay. Now what I did was, y'all know, sometimes when I do security in the black, okay, and I talk about the news, which I haven't done in a very long time, right? One channel that I've been going to is Cyberspatial. If you're not subscribed to Cyberspatial, please go do that. That dude is, I mean, he's really cool, and the videos are really good. Okay, so so shout out to Cyberspatial. I use, you know, some of what they said, and you know, I you know, cooked it up a little bit, put a little Cheryl spin on it. But he has a video called "Is Coding Important for Cybersecurity?" And this video and some of the stuff he talked about is a really good example of why I'm saying don't quit right now. Okay, because we have to understand some stuff about us, about who we are and what we do and how we do it first, because it makes no sense, like I said, for you to quit this job, okay, and you have issues that you need to deal with, okay, as a professional. So the problem, to take this problem, this Cheryl problem, and put this Cheryl problem in another environment doesn't solve the problem, okay? So right here, we're going to talk about what the problem is and how we solve it before we quit and we get that other job and all that stuff, you know, because you don't want to take, you know, any trash along with you. You know, if anything, you want the organization that you're in now to help you in that regard, to help you see how you are the problem and what you need to change before you go to this new, you know, this new place. All right. Okay, again, so his channel is called Cyberspatial. Is Coding Important for Cybersecurity? It's a really good video. Go look at it, okay? Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but if you watched my video where I talked about the difference between physical and logical, okay? I said logical is like your name plus your role, okay? So think of yourself here as like you're a program, like you're a program in an organization, okay? Program is purpose to do something, all right? Just like the Terminator. The Terminator was programmed to kill Sarah Connor, all right? It didn't matter what was going on. He killed every Sarah Connor he could find, all right? That's what a program does. You're programmed to do something and you do it, okay? Hey, Chris. Hey, glad to see you here today. So you're a piece of code. Think right now, you're a piece of code in your organization. You're a program in your organization. What are you doing? What are you programmed to do? And is that all you're doing? Because according to this video, I forget the dude's name. I'm gonna call him Mr. Cyberspatial. According to him, hey Mitchell, glad to see you here. According to him, and you know, I totally agree with it. Coding and programs and all this logical stuff, these are tools. Okay, a lot of cybersecurity tools are programming, right? It's software, all right? And tools, just like every tool, whether it's a hammer or a shovel or a spatula, a pencil, every tool has some value, okay? It has some value that comes with it. Now, the question as to how valuable that tool is, okay? Now think back to yourself in an organization. You're like a tool, you know, not the derogatory tool. You know what I'm talking about. You're like a program, okay? To what extent can you change your environment as a tool? Now, if you have, let's say you are a farmer, okay, and you have farming tools, like you got the hoes and the shovels and the tractors and all that. How well do those tools help you change your environment? Okay, when you got to till the ground and plant the seeds and do the water, think about all that. Okay, if you think about a farm and all the stuff, and I'm thinking of a farm because that's where I grew up in Louisiana, right? All the stuff my grandpa had, that stuff was valuable. Okay, because if the shovel didn't do it, we was going to have to get out there digging in the ground and planting seeds and all this other, getting out there with the damn the lawnmower without the motor, the one that be cut. Listen, no, we need better tools than that, okay? Because we're trying to make our lives easier. We're trying to do things more, quickly, all right, more efficiently, so we could do more with less time, all right? So if you're a tool in the organization, how are you impacting the environment? Now, there's three ways three things that can happen, according to Mr. Cyberspatial here, okay? He said, the more advanced you are, or the more advanced the code or the program is, right, the more leverage it has to change the environment, okay? The more influence you have. Remember what I talked about, how one of the things is prioritization of cyber and IT. And if you don't have enough influence, ain't nobody gonna be listening to you, okay? Do you have enough influence to change the environment in any kind of way, So I showed y'all, I don't know if it was the last video or the one before that. A recruiter contacted me through LinkedIn. I think it was a curriculum design thing, I think. Or it could have been policy, something like that, one of those. But I showed you here on the screen what I wrote to the recruiter. Because what I've been doing, I've been getting on the phone, talking to him. If I'm like, I ain't doing all that, I ain't got time for that, I got shit to do. So I said, listen, thank you so much for contacting me. This position sounds amazing, but just to be upfront, I said, my value, I said, the organization's value with me, because I understand that your organization's value with me is greater than your organization's value without me. I am asking for $180,000 for this job. Okay, just upfront. Either we, and I said, if you are agreeable to this, or if you would like to discuss further, this is my number, because my number's not on my resume. I was like, so this is my number, and we can talk. Right? He emailed me back. He said, because I said some others, because I had been looking up the organization. He was like, well, thanks for looking this up and all that. Thank you for your, transparency and all that. But we ain't talking. The dude before him was like, girl, the boss don't even make that much. Okay. So, but you have to understand, because I understand my ability to influence the environment. I understand, I know what that is. And whatever environment, it don't matter. Okay, whatever environment it is. So let me give you the three that he talks about here. He says it's your tools, your skills, and I'm saying environment. He says something else, but y'all listen to what I'm telling you. Tools, skills, plus whatever the environment is, okay, that equals what your ability is. Okay, what tools, what skills do you have? What tools can you use? And in what circumstances can you use them? All right, that's what I mean by environment. Okay. There's three categories. Category one, which is where he says most cybersecurity people are. Most of us. User. You're a user. It's not just you. It's not just my mama who don't know nothing about computers. Who she just, somebody give her some digital stuff and she just using it, because it's fun or it's easy or whatever. You're a user too, according to Mr. Cyberspatial, and I agree, because what he says a user is, you are just a user of tools. All you do is somebody give you a hammer and you go hammer some nails in a plank where they tell you to hammer it. Okay, you've learned how to use a hammer, both sides. Okay, not just the side you hammer with, but the other side you flip it around, and you could take the hammer out. You could do that. Somebody hand you a shovel, you do that. Okay, your skill is low. All right, your tools are low. The number of tools you can use are low. And the circumstances under which you can use them, or the environment, has to be simple. It has to be simple. Okay, that's like you going in the kitchen and somebody tells you to make dinner. All right, so what do you make? You fry eggs, and you get the bacon that's already cooked that you just got to put in the microwave for 30 seconds. Okay, that's a simple environment. They ain't asking you to do this. Ain't chopped. All right, they're not asking you to get a whole basket of shit you ain't never seen before and make it amazing. No, that's too advanced. All right, user, you're a user if you cannot modify anything and you can't create anything new. You're a user. Nothing wrong with being a user, but that's what you are. If you can't do anything but use Metasploit when they give it to you, all you can do is use Splunk. That's it. Read the directions. How I say, go to YouTube, look up some stuff. You know, you're a user. Okay. All you can do is use Wireshark. That's it. And if that stuff breaks, you got to call somebody to come help you out. You're a user. All right. Again, we all start off as users, but don't expect, if you can't, influence anything and all you are is a user, then what are you expecting in return? All right. You're not, all you're doing is using the tools. Everybody uses the tools. Okay. Even people who are not cyber people using the tools. He said most cybersecurity professionals are users. I gotta agree. The next category, he says, are operators. All right. Now, these are folks with a skill level that's medium, okay, where, the users are low. The tools they use, now they can use varied tools, okay? They can use different tools, all right? The environment is simple or complicated. Okay? They can work in a complicated environment, but let me tell you, because after complicated, you have complex, and after complex, you have chaotic. There's 4 different environments that you work in: simple, complicated, complex, and chaotic. A complicated environment, okay, is like a puzzle. Okay, a simple environment is like one of those Mickey Mouse puzzles for little kids that has like 5 pieces. Okay, that's like a simple environment. You see the picture on the box, it's only 5 pieces, and the pieces are huge. Okay, and you got that. That's a simple environment. All right, you know where all the pieces go, the directions are there, you got the recipe. Nothing out of the ordinary is happening. All right, everything is going the way it's supposed to go. That's a simple environment. A complicated environment is the same thing, except it's 1,000 pieces. Okay, it's not 5, it's 1,000 pieces. But there's still the picture on the box. All right, there's still direction somewhere. There's an answer somewhere. Okay, that piece is somewhere. You just got to find it. That's complicated. Now, when we get to complex and chaotic, let me tell you, but before we move there, the operators are here. Simple and complicated. They're medium with the skills and medium with the, and the tools are varied, okay? Now, these people, they're better at real world scenarios, okay? So you take the training, all right? For the users, they take the training and the environment is simple and everything is okay. Now, for the operators, the training environment is not the same way as the real world environment. Okay, you got other stuff going on. Okay, you're supposed to be using Splunk like this, but they ain't even got that turned on. But they still want, what Splunk is supposed to give them, but they're not paying to have this functionality. So now, as an operator, you have to start, coming up with, well, how can we automate something else? or what can you're having to think outside the box. Okay, if Splunk can't do it, you have the skill and you have the tools, to be able to come up with something else. Okay, let's write this script, or let's do this thing right here, to make up for where we've fallen down over here. We can't afford to do something right here. Okay, so that's operators. All right, that's the next tier of people. All right, simple, complicated, they can work in those environments. Now the next one is, I guess, what they call unicorns. Is that what they call unicorns? Like people who they're rock stars. Okay, and they're hard to come by, seemingly hard to come by. These are the operators / developers, according to Mr. Cybersecurity. That's what he calls them. These people can take tools. You got your Splunk, your Force Scout, your Metasploit, your Burp Suite, your your group policy, all that. They can tie these things together in ways that you've never even thought of. Okay. Plus, they can script some stuff and make, automate things that, nobody ever considered. They're the rock stars because they know enough coding and programming and scripting and all that stuff to really be able to get in there and change the environment. Okay. They're able to do that. Ability to adapt the tools to a shifting environment. There you go. Exactly, Chris. You're exactly right. That's what they can do. And that's what businesses want. Okay? Like, they really do. They need somebody in there who can do that. Okay? Because it's just something that has to be done. It's like I talked about the other time. You cannot, especially for those of you who have kids, and all of you were kids, okay? So even if you haven't had kids, you know what I'm talking about, all right? There is no way in the world I can write a book or something on how to raise children based on how I did it and give it to you and tell you will be successful. Your children will turn out this way if you do every single thing here. That's impossible. Do you understand? That'll never happen. Even kids in the same damn house can't be raised the same way. You understand? An organization is the same thing. An organization is a living thing. Okay, it's not buildings and light switches and shit. It's a living thing. These organizations need operator developers. They need creativity. All right. And let me tell you something that might be controversial, but that's what you get over here. All right. People who are able to repurpose things. We call these people hackers. Okay. All right. And I'm not even talking about the malicious ones. I'm talking about the good ones. All right. We can take a program, hardware, software, whatever the hell it is, and repurpose it and make it do something else. All right. Just like those of us all of us are hackers, really, because we repurpose all kind of stuff. All right. That is hacking. Yes, that is a creative skill, but it's not creation. Like, there's a higher level than hacking, because with hacking, something has to already be there. You have to have something to work with. You have to have something to take apart and put back together and repurpose, and you got to have material. All right. What is it called when you have nothing? You don't have anything in front of you. You don't have a Burp Suite. You don't have a Kali Linux. You don't have any of them tools at all. You ain't got nothing in front of you but space, opportunity, and a problem. When you can create from that, you don't got anything in front of you, okay? When you can create and innovate in that space, that's what you call an artist. That's an artist. And yes, you have to use science and, and all these other things, but that is a whole different level of creativity, all right? That we blue teamers need to stop sleeping on, okay? Because the work that we do, I feel like it automatically puts us in that space, okay, of being artists. Because right now, with all this chasing behind hackers and trying to do what they do and all the, listen, if you don't want to hear this, get the hell up out of here. Because you know I'm going to be talking about, I cannot stand this thinking like a hacker shit. I don't like it. And I'm going to say it every single chance I get, okay? I don't like it. Because we need to be on a higher level than that, okay? There is no reason in the world why we need to be chasing behind these people, waiting for them to do something special and ooh and an iron and, you know, ooh, solar winds. I can't believe, how did they do that? No, man, forget that. Okay. Cut it out. All right. We're way more creative and artistic. Okay. Well, we just got to use it, but we're not even practicing it. Okay. Well, we need to do that. Okay. We absolutely need to do that. We have a lot of what he calls operator developers on the blue team. We just haven't realized it yet. Okay. Because I feel like we're very busy doing compliance work. All right. And some of us don't want to do that. Like there is an urge to not do that. Like we know that we have, you know, space, opportunity, and problems, and we want to come up with something. Okay. But we just feel stuck some kind of way, right? We don't have the right mentoring or the training or the encouragement or the knowledge or the, you know, confidence, whatever the case is. Okay. But we need to get in that space, like today, like yesterday. Okay. Like yesterday. You understand what I'm saying? And I've talked about this before, how we need to be out there finding these 0 days. Okay. Us. We do. All right. So those are the three. You got the user, you got the operator, and operator developer. Now let me show you here. So what I do right now, I write policy and memoranda, and, you know, I do some training. I do a whole bunch of stuff. But the first time I heard about, now y'all know I've only been in cybersecurity fully, you know, as a cybersecurity professional after getting the certifications and the job and all of that for about 3 years. Okay, so it hasn't been that long, all right? Now, the first job I had, my supervisor said, okay, Cheryl, we have this thing to do, and I need you to create a poem. She just said a poem. I'm like, girl, first of all, what did you say? Like a what? She said a poem. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I don't know what that is. Okay, I have no idea what that is. So she's like, oh, okay, don't worry about it. I'll send you one, you know, so you can see what it is. So she sent it to me. And it was she did it in Microsoft Project. I'm like, oh, this is just like a WBS. Like, that's what it looked like to me. Okay. You have something you want to do. You have a date you want it done by, and you want to, you know, just see what the hell that is. Right. I was like, okay, why didn't you just say that? So my first experience with a poem was that's what it is. It's just like a project plan or something to show we got something to do. We need to know how soon it's going to get done. We need some dates and stuff, what's going to be accomplished, and that's it, you know. It wasn't that complicated, you know, to me. So let me tell you what the definition of a poem is. So it's a plan of actions and milestones, okay? And y'all, there are 2.4 million websites that talk about poems. Okay, with templates, examples, processes, you know, songs, videotapes, audio, podcasts, all kind of stuff. Okay. So, and then what's his name? Bruce. What's Bruce's channel? What's Bruce's channel? Convo courses. Okay. Let me put it in the chat. Bruce does a lot of CAP stuff. Here you go. Bruce, so me, Bruce, and Dr. What's his name? Dr. Phillips are working on a CAP course. This CAP course, y'all, this is certified authorization professional. Is gonna blow your socks off, I'm telling you, okay? But Bruce has a lot of stuff over there about poems and CAP stuff and ISOs and ISMs and all that, okay? I have some stuff too, but I got nothing compared to what he got. Okay, he has a whole bunch of stuff, and a lot of it is free, and it's really good. Bruce is really personable, so you know, go over there and look at his stuff. It's very, very good. What the hell was I saying? Oh, poems. Let me show you this thing. Oh, so I was saying that to say this ain't gonna be a lesson in poems, okay? Because I'm not joining the 2.4 million people doing that stuff. I'm just gonna show you right here, real quick, okay? Let me see. Is it on this side? Yes, it is. Or maybe not. What the hell did I do with it? Ooh, girl. Did I you know what? I think I deleted it. Let me see if I can find it again real quick. I had it up here. I think I deleted it though. Let me see if I can find it really quick. If not, I'm just going to talk about it. Here we go. Here it is. Ooh, the screen is bright. Okay. So really quickly, just in case you haven't seen it before, because whatever you're doing, especially again, if you're in a federal agency, you're going to have to get to know and love plans of actions and milestones. All right. If you work in a SOC, you're going to hear that word 1,000 times a day. Okay. And people are going to be looking at you to find out, well, where is it? Did you get it signed yet? Okay. What's the holdup? Okay. Because you have these things, well, let me show it to you while I'm talking. Just in case you haven't seen one before. For some of you, and I'm sure many of you are, if you're working in a SOC or anywhere. And I'm not in a SOC, I work in policy. Okay, but I hear poems every day. Okay, here's a good one. There you go. So this is this is CMMC, I think. What is a poem? Yeah, this is the NIST, the CUI. Here it is, CUI plan of action for whatever the system is that you're working on. Okay, so you're going to do these for the systems. Now the thing is, these things are generated for different reasons. Some for external. You got people like JFHQ Doden, like they're sending you stuff. You know, now you have to create a poem to for them, and they want to know that it's done and complete. Okay. And then you have your internal stuff, like your own systems and stuff, and when you're doing your ACAS scans and all that stuff, okay? And, and then you have new things coming into the organization, right? Where you're gonna have to do all this. So poems are always floating around all over the place. You'll never get rid of them, okay? Federalness, yep. Thanks, Professor Black Ops. So for this one, and they look different too. We have 3 different ones that we use. They look different. Okay, so they're not all going to look like this, and these won't always be the headings. But what's common is you're going to have this milestone. They want to know this and the date for real. Okay, you absolutely have to have this right here because that's the main thing. What needs to happen? Did I read your definition? Okay, here's the definition. It's a management tool for tracking the mitigation of cybersecurity program and system level findings / weaknesses. Okay. So they want to know, well, what's the weakness? Like what's going on? This is the thing right here. Paper records containing CUI stored in unsecured cabinet. The combination lock broke. Okay. That's the finding or the weakness. All right. So here, what's the completion date over here? The milestone with interim completion dates. Okay. Now don't just say we're going to fix the cabinet. No. they want to know, tell me step by step what has to happen and when it's going to happen. Okay. All right. And of course, somebody always has to sign this thing. like the CISO or the CIO or somebody, okay, or somebody else, all right, system owner or somebody. Many times it's multiple people. It's not just one person, okay? So this is all it is. Like, it's just a plan of how are you going to fix this? You know, or how are you going to mitigate this weakness? You know, how are you going to address this finding here? Okay. So it's not rocket science, because when I first saw there was an Excel spreadsheet, I think it was another NIST one, Professor Black Ops, and it was an Excel spreadsheet. I didn't know where to look. I'm like, what the hell is all they have 1,000 columns? I'm like, what the hell is this? Okay, so it was hard to understand, and I thought it was something a lot more complicated than it actually was. Okay, and for you, like wherever you're working right now, whether you're in the SOC or not, you know, you should be able to find your POAM process, like the whole process that it needs to go through. Okay, from getting it into the organization to, you know, getting it signed and remediated. Okay. You should find that process in something like your vulnerability management plan or your you know, operational instructions or something like that, okay? But somebody somewhere should have this process of how the whole process of how the POAM is written, okay? And if you don't, you're in trouble. I'm telling you right now, you're in trouble, okay? You gotta get something in place as to do the whole RACI model. Okay, the responsible, accountable, all them other things, CNI. Okay, you got to get that in place, because it's going to be a cluster F if you don't. Okay, if it's not a cluster F right now, if you ain't got a process in place, I promise you it is. Okay, people doing stuff, don't nobody know they did it. You go into meetings, you're saying stuff in briefings, and the other people like they never told us that. You're going to get all this stuff going on. Okay. And one of the issues that I see is that we feel like we don't have time to stop and do a good process. You know, you better find the time. You got to find the time to do this. Now, this is part of what I'm talking about when it comes to you being able to add value to the organization. Okay, if they have I mean, just a messed up POAM process, and all you're doing is trying to survive in a messed up POAM process, you're a user. Okay, can we take a step up to an operator or a developer when it comes to this? It ain't always got to have to do with cyber tools. Even something as simple as a POAM process. Okay, some of us need to get out of user mode. We're just using the messed up process that's already here and not contributing anything else, nothing else, okay? Where can we enact some change? Can you look at the process? Can you say, well, what's the as is and how do we want it to be? Who can we add to it, take out, like whatever? At least have the conversation. Do you know what I mean? That's a part of adding value too, okay, when it comes down to it. And that's a big part. If you are somebody who knows how to look at a process and make it better, process improvement, listen, you can really pretty much write your own ticket. And I'm talking about, I did another video where I'm talking about making 7 figures. Did I say 7 or 8? What did I say? I think it was 7 figures. That kind of stuff right there, process improvement, process re-engineering, that stuff is going to get you there. It's going to get you there, I'm telling you. It's going to get you there. It's going to get you on the map. It's going to get the CISO knowing your name. Okay? They're asking for you when they're looking for somebody to fix something. Okay? I'm telling you, you know, compliance director be on my ass about the process. And we have, and I love process improvement. That's what my second degree is in, right? And I love looking at processes and finding out what the issue is. Okay, and then, you know, doing the research and talking to people and all that, you know, to try to make it better. Yeah, so I really enjoy that kind of stuff. But I know how important it is. I know how important it is, especially when you have a process like POAMs. Child, POAMs are every damn where. Everywhere. Okay, so you gotta have a good process in place for that, you know, because you're gonna feel it if you don't. You will. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel it if you're not feeling it right now. You're gonna feel it if you don't. Okay. Now, when I was doing my research to, to help with the process, where I am now, there's there are people out like Department of Energy, they have their document and you can just, go Google it and just find it. Okay. Department of Energy has a good written, now listen now, hold on, listen. On paper, I'm telling you on paper what looks good. Okay. Department of Energy on paper looks good. DHS looks good. Their program process looks good on paper. Okay. Just because somebody wrote it down on a piece of paper does not mean that is what they are doing. Okay. That's not what that means. And so you got to find out, well, I see what you got on the paper. Like I see this, but how is it actually happening? Let's talk about that, because that's what you need to fix. Don't take the paper and be like, okay, let's improve this. Nah, man, forget that. Tell me how this actually works. Okay. And that's what we need to fix. Okay. Because they try to pull that on me. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? I know for a fact it ain't working like this. Okay. So let's tell the truth first. You can only make change from the truth. Okay. If you try to make change for anything, I don't care what the hell it is, you got to start with what is truly happening. Okay. And not what you want to be the truth. You understand? Okay. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So y'all, so the whole thing that I'm talking about here, you said she is system. She is SISM. What is that? I know what that is. What does that stand for? I hear acronyms all day long because of Black Ops. I know you want to quit. Go ahead and do that. Okay, because it is you. Like it's your life. You know if you need, more money or, better people to work with, or, not such a toxic environment, or, whatever the case is. But all I'm saying is, okay, it's not going to get better. Okay, if all you're doing is taking the problem with you, is what I'm saying, right? And like I just said, if you're trying to make change, if you're trying to change something, if you want to work in an environment that, that values you as a person, that values your perspective, that values your talent, okay, that, values what you bring to the table. If you want to work with people who actually hear you when you talk, okay, where you feel like it's safe to make mistakes so you can learn and you're getting mentored and you're growing and you have the space and you're being offered the opportunity. If you want all that stuff, okay, you're not going to get it if you're the problem. All right. And it's okay if you're the problem. I saw that I was the problem. That was okay. You know why that was okay? Because that meant I could fix it. Okay, I could fix it. Okay, that's great. Because if the problem was with that person, I can't do shit with that. What am I do? Huh? For those of you who trying to change the person you with, how is that working for you? Huh? You can't do that. So I'm glad when the problem is with me. Now I can change it. So my life would be a little bit better. You understand? Certified Information Security Manager. Oh, okay. System. Oh, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Professor Black Ops. Y'all know I'll be preaching over here, right? Ooh, child, I got a lot to say. Okay, but that's it. That's what I wanted to tell y'all today. But it's okay. I mean, I totally get it. I know what it's like when you feel like you got to move on. You just got to move on. Okay, and you can't do one more second, not another second, in whatever place that you're in. Okay, I totally get that. All right, but when you move on and up is what I'm saying. Move on and up. Don't just move on, to just have the same problems in a different place. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate every single one of you. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. You remind me of her. I remind you of the system. She is not super technical, but we get an on-site federal audit every 3 years. The process and paperwork is crazy. She handles Booz Allen Consultants. She makes 6 figures. Oh, she sounds like a boss as a Black Ops. She's coming on my channel. Oh, is she? Good. When? I want to be there. I want to be there. And I put my alerts on for you too. But I don't know. Are y'all getting alerts from Facebook? Because I have alerts on for a lot of people, and I used to get them all the time. But I don't know. Something's wrong with it. Hi, Mitchell. Oh, thanks. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah, let me know when she's coming on the channel, Professor Black, because I definitely want to like put it on my own calendar. Because these YouTube whatever you call them damn things, I don't think they're working very well. Not working very well. Okay, y'all. So again, thank you for being here and have an amazing night. And I will be back here with you all very, very soon. Okay. Bye, y'all.